Have you ever looked at yourself and thought, I just don't think like everyone else? This might be why. Often, the most capable minds don't see themselves as exceptional, they feel completely ordinary. It's a fascinating psychological flip. And if you recognize even a few of these 10 traits, it's a sign your mental wiring is unique, you just haven't been giving yourself credit. If that rings a bell, you're about to learn the subtle routines of deeply analytical thinkers. And honestly, the 7th point might just change your perspective. Trait 1, they listen to understand, not just to reply. In many discussions, people are just waiting for their turn to speak. It becomes a contest of voices. But perceptive thinkers operate differently. They embrace the quiet moments while others rush to fill the silence. This isn't about being reserved, it's about processing. Their mind is actively analyzing, weighing each piece of information before contributing. Studies suggest that effective thinkers often rehearse their thoughts internally before speaking aloud. So when they do share an idea, it carries substance. They speak with intention, not out of obligation. The core idea? They prefer meaningful silence over empty words, because they understand that language has impact, not just volume. Trait 2, their default setting is, why? Inquisitive minds can be, a lot. Let's be honest. Because they rarely take, because that's how it's always been, for an answer. If you mention that water is wet, they'll wonder about the molecular properties that create that sensation. They aren't being contrarian, they are driven by a genuine need to comprehend. They engage in debate to uncover truth, not to be right. This constant questioning strengthens their analytical skills, allowing them to identify weaknesses in plans or arguments that others accept without a second thought. This is also why they struggle with arbitrary guidelines. Following instructions without a clear purpose can feel mentally restrictive. Trait 3, they are natural connection spotters. A highly analytical brain is a live wire for finding links and sequences. They detect rhythms in social interactions, trends in information, and logical threads that most people overlook. It's as if they are constantly mapping out a hidden web of relationships that is invisible to everyone else. This ability allows them to forecast potential results with surprising accuracy. It isn't a supernatural gift, it's their cognitive hardware perpetually sorting data for consistency and correlation. You'll hear them say, I had a feeling that would occur, and the reason is their innate sensitivity to sequences. While powerful, this can also be mentally draining, because once you see the underlying structures of things, you can't simply choose to ignore them. Trait 4, they can't help but optimize. You know the type, they see a convoluted task and their first thought is, there has to be a better way to do this. That's the mark of this mindset. They notice friction or waste, and it triggers a deep-seated need to fix it. They aren't being critical, they are engaging with a compelling challenge. They design better methods, find smarter paths, and streamline processes that others didn't realize were inefficient. For them, this isn't a chore, it's a form of mental exercise. It's their brain's favorite puzzle game. The trade-off is that they can become impatient when others don't grasp the more efficient solution that seems so evident to them. Trait 5, they consume ideas, not just books. They don't read simply to check a title off a list, they read to gather new perspectives and ways of reasoning. This is why their interests seem so eclectic, a deep dive into psychology one day, followed by a book on astrophysics the next. This isn't scattered focus, it's cross-training for the mind. The goal isn't to master every subject, but to collect different thinking tools. They thrive on diverse intellectual models, merging concepts from various fields to form original ideas. Trait 6, they build in 3D, not in a straight line. Yes, they can be deep thinkers, but not in a cyclical, anxious way. Many people get stuck in loops of repetitive worry. Analytical thinkers, however, build in dimensions. They map out potential scenarios, pinpoint weaknesses, run through mental prototypes, and then distill everything down to the most effective path forward. It's like strategizing several steps ahead in a complex game. This isn't indecision, it's thorough planning. By the time they take action, they've already stress-tested their approach mentally, which is why they can appear so composed when making significant choices. Trait 7, they recharge in solitude. For many, silence is unnerving. It means being alone with your own mind, which can be daunting. But for deep thinkers, quiet is essential. It's the mental space where clutter settles and ideas coalesce. Those moments of sudden clarity that seem to arrive from nowhere. They are usually born in these periods of undisturbed reflection. This isn't about being unsocial, it's about integrating and processing. In a noisy world vying for your focus, their capacity to embrace stillness is a powerful tool. It's the foundation of true insight. Trait 8, they hold themselves accountable. This is where it gets real. Highly self-aware individuals don't disguise their mistakes. When they fall short, they don't point fingers at external factors. They own it. This degree of personal honesty is uncommon. Most of us construct narratives to protect our ego, but they avoid this because they know you can't improve a problem you won't acknowledge. This rigorous self-assessment is what drives their continuous growth. It's also why their personal standards are so high, not just for those around them, but for themselves most of all. Settling for good enough feels like a personal failure when you understand your own potential. Trait 9, they guard their focus, not just their clock. While many people micromanage their day with back-to-back appointments, insightful individuals plan around their mental stamina. They know their peak performance windows, perhaps deep, analytical work in the early hours, and more free-form, creative tasks later. They don't fight their natural rhythm, they work with it. They've unlocked a key principle: while you can always get more time, you can't get more mental energy. By defending their most productive hours, they make everything else more effective. Trait 10, they make complexity simple. Here's the final, and perhaps most important, sign. Truly sharp people are often masters of translation, not complication. They excel at breaking down intricate concepts into clear, accessible ideas. This is where intellectual capacity meets interpersonal skill. True intelligence isn't about using jargon to seem impressive, it's about communicating in a way that empowers others. They don't use lofty language to intimidate, they use precise language to connect. And that is the most impressive skill of all. So if you see yourself in even a handful of these traits, don't dismiss it. You don't need external validation to be a powerful thinker. Your natural tendencies are already revealing it. The essential question isn't, how intelligent am I, but rather, how am I applying the unique mind I already possess? Which of these resonated with you the most? Let me know the number below. I'm curious to see how many nuanced thinkers are out there.